Hi everyone, welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. We have a great program today. We're going to dive right in. My first guest is Chris Weems. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
I know this is not your normal day at the office, right?
No, it's not.
You have a company called Trax Plus.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a bit about your company.
We're an equipment dealership, and we sell Barco products, basically forest industry products. We sell Barco is our new product line, and we also sell Sani excavators for construction industry. But we also sell a lot of used equipment. We're probably one of the largest used equipment forestry dealers in the Southeast.
You're a Mississippi State grad.
Yes.
Tell us about your background at the university and where you went, because you worked for, was it MDOT?
I did. I graduated here from MSU with a civil engineering degree. Started out my career in roadway design for MDOT. I grew up on equipment, and I tried to fight it as long as I could, but my passion and my interest just drove me straight back to the equipment. Yeah. And so I had to give up my engineering with MDOT and pursue my own passion and basically being around the equipment every day that I truly love.
And look, that's a pretty scary step, deciding you're going to just chuck the day job and do the thing that is really in your heart, right?
Well, you know, it was a day job, and actually what I was doing a lot of was that day job, and then after hours I would be selling equipment.
Wow.
And eventually it got to the point to where the equipment was consuming my thoughts during the day, and that's when I knew it was time.
So you start the business and you're growing it and moving along, and it's a really cool success story. And then along came an opportunity through MSU Athletics.
Yes.
And the Morgan White Group.
Right.
And they sponsored a contest. They got together, and Morgan White does employer services, HR, payroll, things like that, right?
That's right.
And then you have all this marketing manpower with MSU Athletics. They're really good at it. Right. So the two of them get together and decide they're going to have a contest to try to help a Mississippi State company. And so they put out the call for entries into this contest, right?
That's right. So, I was sitting at the ball game. Yep. and I saw the ad come across the Jumbotron, and I said, well, what would it hurt to try? I didn't think that we had a chance. So I submitted the text message that day at the game. I remember exactly where I was sitting at, and I leaned over and I told my brother, who was at the game with me, and I said, hey, I'm going to try it. And a few months later, I got a phone call that said, hey, your story sounds pretty good. We'd like for you to write it a little more in depth. Mm-hmm. And as I did that, I started to realize, hey, we really had a chance. We had a shot.
Yeah, so this is where the College of Business comes in, because we were asked at the East Center to judge all the entries. And when I say there was some stiff competition, Blue Delta jeans, right. I'm wearing those now, right? And those are the folks that are making the bespoke, custom-made jeans, and yes. The customers are Dak Prescott, Eli Manning. I mean, that's pretty heady competition. Right. You had the Grammy Museum in Cleveland. What did you think? Did you know who the competition was when you entered?
When I saw the top 10, I have to admit I did Google them to see who the competition was. And there were some pretty stiff names, you're right. And, you know, but we were just very we had very humble beginnings, and we just were honest about our story and told it like it was. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some of the things at the time we didn't realize were as important as they were became part of our success story.
And it was announced that you won. How was that announced?
At Super Bulldog Weekend this past year, this spring.
So as a person from Mississippi, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a Mississippi State grad, what was that like at Super Bulldog Weekend when they make that kind of announcement?
It was pretty awesome. We were on the Jumbotron. Some of our employees and family and friends, we got to get out on the field, and it's really hard to describe. It was a great feeling.
And what is it like because you really took that leap of faith to do this business, and,
sure.
And I remember we discussed this in the East Center, how we were just like, wow, I mean, this guy stepped out and did it, right? Is it a little more reassuring to know you've got the Morgan White Group and the Mississippi State Athletics as sort of partners helping you grow this thing, and you're up to what, 25 employees now?
Yeah, 25. Wow. Absolutely. It was a leap of faith. at the time, by myself, I left a secure job and moved into a portable building with a fold-out table and a laptop.
How many folks told you were crazy?
Everybody I talked to, every single person.
Yeah.
You know, state retirement, you know, steady check, you know, family, friends, everybody was like, can't believe you're leaving. But that voice inside my head, it just, you know, consumed my thoughts. I had to go, I had to try it.
Yep.
And I surrounded myself with really good people, people who believed in what we were doing. And, you know, then the contest come along. We were thinking about trying to advertise through MSU Sports, and it just, the contest was kind of like light bulb went off, and here it was.
Well, we're proud of it. We're proud to have you on here. Sure. And folks, we're going to tell you more in coming episodes about the Morgan White Group Employer Business Game Changer competition with MSU Athletics. It's a great program, and congratulations on the win. Thanks for taking time out to come talk to us.
Sure, thank you.
We're going to take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
So you have an idea. It's exciting, it's original, it's genius, and you think it could be the next big thing. But how do you turn this idea into reality? At the Entrepreneurship Center, we will guide you through every step of the entrepreneurial process and help along the way, from developing and enhancing your idea to building your product and bringing it to market. Our programs will help refine your idea and connect you with other creative individuals. You can collaborate with students and discover their brilliant ideas, learn from expert faculty and accomplished business leaders, and even receive money to expand your venture and start your own company. Whether your idea is a revolutionary product, app, or service, we can help. The Entrepreneurship Center at Mississippi State University. From invention to innovation, it starts here.
There are a number of student activities that students can get involved with, but few of them know that they can start a company while they're in school. We want students to consider that when they come to school here, they have 4 years to create themselves a job, create a new venture, and that's really what the center's here to provide. We're here to provide the resources, connections, and programs that can help them start a company. The background of our students is extremely diverse. All across campus, students are getting involved, forming these companies, and people, all sorts of different backgrounds coming together to create these startups that are just doing amazing things. Regardless of where you're at in the entire startup process, whether you're coming in with a fresh idea, already have an established company, or just are trying to get interested in entrepreneurship, we want to put students in a position where they feel encouraged and supported to pursue their passions so they can make an impact no matter what field or industry they go into.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Mallory Ann Williams, and I have to confess, I know this young lady. Played volleyball with my daughter Ellie. How are you?
Good.
Good to have you here.
Good to have you.
So I know you, but I don't think the folks at home do. So if you could give us a rundown of where you're going to school.
I go to Starkville High School. I'm a 9th grader, well, an upcoming freshman. I play volleyball for the Yellow Jackets.
And you also have some other interests, right? Because I know you want to be an architect.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you also entered our Innovation Challenge, and we've talked about that on the program, which is a Shark Tank we do for the school. So tell us what your idea was in the Innovation Challenge.
Okay, well, I struggle with dyslexia, and I really needed an app, or like what I struggled with and I thought that I needed was an app for dyslexia. It just makes all those accommodations for you instead of having to go to extra measures to like somebody else. And like bigger the text, you can change the background color, you can get it read to you, have a line to follow it with you, just to help a dyslexic.
So what was that process like to get up and actually pitch in front of an audience on a stage?
It was terrifying.
Yeah?
It was terrifying. Practiced every single day. I had a piece of paper. I couldn't do it any other way.
Well, so you're a glutton for punishment, because after that you went and enrolled in our I Create camp. So this was a camp for folks, young teens, to come and spend a week at the university. What was it like living on campus, by the way? And
It was
how
really neat.
Yeah, how was the
I
food?
felt old.
You felt old. Yeah, welcome to my
The
world.
food was good. The food was good.
Yeah. The food was good.
The food was very good.
All right, so you had to meet folks. Some you knew, some you didn't. Form a company, develop products, market the products. Right. What was that process like in a week?
Well, it was very difficult because we didn't all get along sometimes. So it was really hard to like compromise. But at the end of the week, it all pretty much worked out.
All right,
We
so
all worked together.
What were some of the things you made?
We made decorative jars. We made plant hangers. We made like a rolling bar with a cooler in it.
Yeah, I think we have some pictures, and you can. There you go. So,
Oh yeah, that's Kenny. I don't know. I can't remember what he was working on.
like the wood frames, maybe.
I think so. Oh yeah, those are the wood frames that I made. They're really neat.
These are the jars. There's a mason
Yes, sir.
jars, right? Okay, so I had these. So we ended up putting plants in these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really cool planters. And is this one of your original ideas here?
It was Pinterest.
Okay.
but we made it our own.
All right, there you are with Terrence. Terrence, the guy in the
That
middle.
was
with the blue hat.
celebrating at the
Yeah.
end. We're really proud.
Yeah. And this was the, you really can't see it, it says grow, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
the display window of the Idea Shop on Main Street.
Jaron made those. They were really neat. They all sold.
And there you are, looking tired and ready to go home. This is
Yeah, that was definitely at the end of the day.
so. Not only did y'all have to get together and form these ideas and make these things, but the good news was the money that you made, you got
Yeah,
to keep.
that was really neat. I did not know that was going to happen going into the camp. It was really neat to find out that we could end up getting our profit that we made.
So, what are some takeaways from the camp? Did you learn some things about business or working with others?
sir.
What were some things that stuck out to you?
Well, first of all, I learned how to use most of the stuff in the back, which was difficult. And just the entrepreneurial part of like having to price everything, having to think ahead. Because, I mean, if you didn't get anything, you didn't get anything.
That's right. So, you say you want to be an architect.
Yes, sir.
Any school in particular you might be leaning toward to go?
Probably state.
Good. And do you want to design? Do you know what you want to design? Are
Like
you
as
into
in-
like homes or businesses or
Homes.
commercial? Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you for being with us, and thanks for participating in the
you.
innovation. You know, you're eligible for the Innovation Challenge again this year.
I'm ready.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for this edition of Dividends. We appreciate you being with us. We'll see you next time.